Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here to share in another historic moment of Cardinal Athletics. I'm joined here this afternoon by our head women's soccer coach, Tanya Armelino, and Ian Spear, a member of our men's soccer team and also a member of our student athlete advisory committee. Thank you both for agreeing to be here this afternoon. Today we're unveiling a new look for Cardinal Country. The Department of Intercollegiate Athletics is very pleased this afternoon to showcase a new visual identity for Cardinal Athletics, which will be seen across all teams and the campus as a whole beginning this fall. These updated marks create a consistent, unified approach we can easily use over time across all of our branding channels, from uniforms and playing surfaces to social media and beyond. The new primary Cardinal head provides a defined, sleek look that speaks to the competitive confidence and excellence of Plattsburgh State athletics. The clean, simplified lines will maintain the appearance in both large and small sizes, and a unique treatment of crown feathers sets it apart from many other Cardinal logos that exist across the country. Additionally, a new P logo and an additional mark, which serves to meld the primary Cardinal head with the custom P, have also been created. A competitive set of unique lettering and numbering is also part of the complete design package and will be used as the primary font for Cardinal Athletics going forward. The process of developing an updated athletic mark began in 2015. A core team, including representatives from athletics, alumni relations, student affairs, and marketing, led the project. Student athletes, coaches, and staff were brought in as the effort progressed, and I can tell you the group worked tirelessly to create a fresh, competitive design while also preserving many of the historic elements from the past. Along with these visual marks, our new Burgundy mascot will be unveiled this Sunday, August 27th, following matriculation at 4:15 on the Memorial Hall fields. All are welcome to join us. I'd also just like to end by taking this opportunity to thank all those involved in the process. That included former Director of Athletics Bruce Delventhal, former Assistant Athletic Director Stephanie Dutton, our current Executive Director of Communications Ken Kennelly, and Brian Savard, our Director of Athletic Communications, among many others. This was an intensive process, and their vision and commitment to seeing this process through to this point is greatly appreciated by all of us involved in Cardinal Athletics. At this time, I would welcome questions and welcome all of you at the end to take a closer look at the marks behind it. Thank you.
So who's responsible for creating the new design? Who gets credit for it?
We used a company out of Dallas, Texas, Torch Incorporated. They've worked with a number of professional teams as well as collegiate teams. So they were the design force behind the scenes to take the ideas that this group that I mentioned and create what you see behind us.
And who had the final say here?
The final say here was essentially, we've used the word unified quite a bit. We think that these marks and logos certainly unify us as an athletic department and as a campus. It was a unified team approach to how this was decided as well. Certainly started with the committee, but then as you heard me list off, it was a pretty broad, far-reaching committee, so the committee members then went back. In the case of Ken, he went back to the President's Cabinet, and I was with him on a couple of those occasions. Ultimately, like all decisions, that group has the final say. But it was an inclusive process that included many parts of campus.
Now, Mike, I know some of the teams on campus were using team-specific logos. I know we had this conversation a while back. Was that one of the driving forces behind creating a logo that was universal to all the teams here?
I would say that was certainly part of it. There was an intention, as I said, starting a couple of years ago, to try to get a unified mark, a unified logo. I know I've said many times, I'd like to think, and I know that these things take time. They take time to resonate across the country. But I'd like to think that regardless of where you are in the country, when you come off an airplane, when you come down an elevator, when you're walking through a hotel lobby, hopefully in the near future, when people see this mark, they're going to say, Plattsburgh State. Right now, that's a little bit more complicated because we did have so many different looks out there, and it was tough to find any unification. Also, there was different versions of our logos and mascots being used at all different parts of campus as well. So our hope is that this will go beyond the athletic walls and extend across campus as well.
What was wrong with the old logo?
I wouldn't say anything was wrong with it. I think the kind of to Ricky's point, our intention was to try to unify with one particular mark, and not everybody was using kind of the Bergie that most people know as our current mark. At the same time, I think there was a desire among many to have a more competitive looking mascot or a competitive looking logo for our department to more accurately reflect the competitive excellence that we strive for on a day-to-day basis with our programs. I'll let Tanya and Ian jump in at any time.
As far as apparel is concerned, obviously the fall sports season is right around the corner here. Will teams be outfitted with new uniforms showing the new logo in time?
I would, from our perspective, we know this rollout is going to take some time from a budgetary standpoint. We don't have the budgets to be able to switch over all of our uniforms simultaneously. So the teams that were up for uniforms this year will don all the new marks, and then over the course of the next couple of years, we'll weave those in. But with that said, all of our teams will have some apparel. It's kind of as like Ian's got a pregame shirt. Many teams have polos and other pieces of memorabilia. So despite the fact that it may not be flanked on their uniform, it will be worn to some extent by all teams. You have anything to add to that? Or?
No, I mean, I think now it's really neat for the fall teams. They're going to kind of, as soon as this is launched, we're now going to be wearing, as soon as tomorrow, all of our practice gear will have the logo on it. And the same thing, warm-up tees, some jackets we've gotten, some long sleeve stuff. So even if the uniforms don't catch up, and for women's soccer, we didn't have the old Bergie logo, we just had the Plattsburgh title. That ends up being that I think we'll transition nicely and have that extra gear and the stuff that we wear to represent ourselves on the bus and off campus. We'll be able to have the new logo.
Tanya and Ian, just to get you, I'm curious your reaction when you first saw it. What do you like about the logo? What do you not like?
I think that it's a lot more scary. It doesn't look as soft as our other logo, and when you go into competition, you want to look fierce, and I think that's what this new logo gives us. All our teams are good on campus, and I think this logo will help them just be more confident in themselves, and as a whole athletic group, we'll all be more confident with unified symbols like this. So that's what I really like about it, that it's kind of bringing all athletes together as one. So I think that's a big thing about having a new logo, because everybody's on board with it. So that's what I like about it.
I know when I saw it, as Mike said, the old Bergie was great, but there were so many different versions of it. So I think that was neat to say, this is us, this is it, because it not only promotes athletic department, university as well, makes it universal, and it's more competitive looking. So I think once it gets underway and everything transitions, uniforms included, it will look really sharp. And I know I liked it, I really did.
How about I'm just curious, the P, is that used as a logo, or I guess you said unify the logos, and I see a few different logos up here. Is the one behind your head the unified one?
Yeah, our primary mark is the Cardinal head. Is our primary athletic logo, primary Cardinal athletic logo. We created some secondary marks because for multiple reasons. The company that we worked with certainly suggested that having the availability for different pieces of material, a P or in the case of the P plus the Cardinal head, lend themselves sometimes well to publications or T-shirts or polos that you might be putting out. So those are for lack of a better word, kind of secondary marks, with our primary mark being the Cardinal head.
What's the mascot going to look like?
The mascot, well, you come Sunday, and come next Sunday, 4:15, you'll see Bergie. Our intention with and the same thing with the Bergie costume, those that are here all know, I've only been here a little over a year, so I don't even know that I've seen all 3 costumes, but we had 3 different mascot costumes, and all 3 of them were slightly different. And I've heard people talk about the happy Bergie, I've heard people talk about the scary Bergie, and then I guess there's a neutral Bergie. So our hope with that as well is we'll have one unified mascot that looks, both costumes will be the same. And Bergie's intended to do what Bergie does best, which is to excite the crowd, provide a little bit more emotion to our contest. I know in working and talking with Brian, who handles our athletic communications, our hope is to look at all of our team schedules and utilize the mascot a little bit more than we have in the past. It's been used in some hockey games and periodically at some other events, but our hope is to have Bergie present with all of our teams. Certainly won't be at every game, but we'll be representative with each team.
Now, Tanya, I know earlier we were talking about apparel. Can you use this as a recruiting tool? Because some of these prospective student athletes are going to be geared up with, new apparel. So.
And I think that was to Mike's point earlier, why there's some variations, like if you think on our shorts, we can have the P, and on the top, we're having our main Bergie head, and it adds a little bit. I've already used it in recruiting as well, saying a new logo is going to be unveiled, and even our team hasn't seen it. So, until this launch and until it was official, they're going to be kind of open to it. It's going to be new to them. So it is huge because it shows there's that push to make it unified, to make it look good, sharp, competitive. And with that, I know I've already said it to recruits, and when they said, when you visit in the fall, you'll get to see a new logo. So I'm pretty excited about it.
And I know from an athlete's perspective, the guys on our team are excited about it. Like they said, it looks more fierce. So I think that really is the driving force. And anything new is great. It just brings excitement to the teams and stuff. So I think it's just everybody's excited and anxious to see the new logos. And now that it's dropping, I think everybody's very happy with how it came out. So.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you all for coming. Have a great day. Take a look at the logos before you leave.